its face.
I'll be back.
They know its mission. But there's one thing they don't know. This time, there are two. Terminator 2.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Terminator 2. Judgment Day. Rated R. Starts Wednesday, July 3rd at a theater near you.
Welcome to the Perfect Movie Podcast, the podcast that says, I need your jacket, your pants, and your motorcycle. I'm Michael.
I'm Kalen.
And today, for our last film of Manly March, we're covering T2, Terminator Judgment Day, a film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I was trying to work on my Schwarzenegger impression, but it's not working. So.
Yeah, mine's probably not that good either. I shouldn't have even tried, but you know what? I shoot my shot. Kalen, Terminator 2. How do you feel about it?
Man, I've seen this movie quite a few times. This movie always held a kind of a special place in my heart. My dad, I think, first showed me this movie a long time ago. It was awesome then. It's pretty sick now still. I have some issues with it. But it's definitely it's a classic movie. It's regarded as one of the best action films of all time. It's got a really awesome villain. And Arnold is the Terminator. There's nobody else like him.
That's true. And with our awesome villain, we have some groundbreaking digital effects.
Yes.
As well.
Did not age as well.
No. I mean, nothing that old does as far as digital.
But definitely back in the day, it was probably mind-blowing, some of the stuff they were seeing. So
yeah. I watched the old trailer, the theatrical trailer for this movie, because I was curious if they were hiding the fact that Terminator's back and he's good now. Was supposed to be a big surprise for the audience, because the way the first third of this movie kind of plays, it kind of plays on you seeing the first Terminator,
right,
and knowing the sequence of events and
who
who Arnold is,
type of Terminator is, yeah.
But I guess it is revealed. It's revealed in the trailer.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
The whole pitch of the trailer, it ends with, "This time there are two."
Gotta love it, right?
Which is so funny because this is a James Cameron movie. James Cameron, one of the most successful, monetarily, filmmakers of all time.
Yes.
And one of his most successful films previous to this is when he made a sequel to Alien, and he just wrote a $sign on the end of the word alien and made Aliens. And his whole idea was, this time there's a horde of aliens.
I thought Avatar 2 would be called Avatars.
But yeah, the fact that Arnold's good now was not a surprise, and I think it's a fun twist on things.
Yeah, for sure. Shall we get into the performance test?
It was the performance of a lifetime!
Let's get into the performance test where we talk about our favorite actors, scenes, characters, and moments.
Yeah.
Arnold.
The big boy. Our big beefy boy.
I was watching this and I was like, Arnie's really doing acting this time.
Yeah.
And you don't always get that out of Arnold. You know, it's usually like in Predator where he's just like, what is it? James, you son of a bitch.
Or when he's in Jingle All the Way and he's like, put that cookie down.
Yeah.
That's acting. Acting.
He's less action, man, and he is really trying hard to do the I'm an android thing.
Yes. It says a lot about Arnold Schwarzenegger when his best role is when he plays a robot.
Yeah. I think it leans into his strengths in a way that I think he doesn't even want to acknowledge.
Yes.
because I think he wants to pretend that he's not this like massive Austrian man that's just,
I mean, off the bat, he's got the look down. He doesn't look like a real person.
No,
he's massive.
I mean, in T1 Terminator, like you got to be like, what a guy! This guy's a unit. Holy crap!
For sure.
He's built like a mountain.
And just like his whole look, just so iconic, dude. The leather jacket, the biker boots, the sunglasses. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, in our first scene, he goes in a bar, walks around naked for a while.
Butt ass naked. I love like the POV shot of him walking through, and you have all the reactions from the people. And there's just one waitress woman was like, "Ew," and looks down at his penis.
He beats up several guys and strips one down and steals his motorcycle.
Brutally beats the fuck out of these dudes, like throwing them. He threw a guy onto like a hot oven top.
Yeah,
and the reaction from the guy was like pretty realistic. I was like, God damn.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
You forgot to say please.
and he steals everything, including the sunglasses. Which there's zero reason a android robot needs to wear sunglasses, but it looks cool.
But why the fuck not? I love how he snatches the sawed off from the dude. It's so great.
And then like the first 30 minutes, 20 minutes of this movie is just dedicated to like our three primary characters motorcycling around Los Angeles.
Yeah.
We have our young John Connor, a teenager who's now living with his foster parents because Sarah Connor has since been put in an insane asylum after the events of T1.
Yes.
And also Robert Patrick as T-1000, the bot that's sent back by Skynet to kill John Connor. He's motorcycling around for a bit, and then he becomes like our GTA protagonist, where he just hijacks a new ride every time he needs a new one.
Yeah.
And Robert Patrick, can I say, has gotten so much mileage out of this character.
For sure.
He's like parodied it in several movies. He's in the film Last Action Hero, also starring Arnold.
Yeah.
Where he like works at the police station and just acts like T-1000, even though he's, I guess, just a person in this one. Do we want to talk about Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor?
So Sarah Connor's character totally flips in this film as compared to Terminator. She is a badass, and she's very unhinged. And when we first see her, she's in like an insane asylum. She's getting medicated. She's going on about Judgment Day and robots, and everybody's like, this lady's crazy and stuff. And she's estranged from her son, played by lesbian actor Edward Furlong.
Lesbian actor Edward Furlong? What's the reference that I'm not understanding
He
here?
just looks like a girl.
Oh. Oh, like as a boy?
Yes, he does.
When he's a child?
Yes.
Oh.
It was a bad
It's that haircut. It's that 90s Bobby haircut.
Edward Furlong, I know him from American History X, where he played a Nazi. so that's kind of cool.
Good for him.
Yeah, Linda Hamilton, she's pretty awesome in this. Sarah Connor is like synonymous with Terminator. Sarah Connor and John Connor, they're like, it's just the yin and yang to the Terminator. And so another iconic character. There's not much else to say, really.
I think the Terminator to Terminator 2 arc for Sarah Connor kind of mirrors James Cameron making a Alien to Aliens arc for Ripley.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parallels there where it's like in the first movie, she's the one that's set upon and she's surprised.
Yeah.
And then the second film, she's
ready.
she's fucking ready this time.
Yeah.
And it is more enjoyable for her character in the second film.
Absolutely.
She's really good. They don't fully Ripley her because in a lot of the sequels, there's a million Terminator sequels, and the Terminator franchise itself is a total mess.
It's a
once we
clusterfuck,
once we get past this point. But she's not in all the sequels. Several of them are John Connor as the main.
Christian Bale plays John Connor
In Salvation. John Connor's the main one in Terminator 3.
John Connor is a girl in Terminator Genesis or something. There's like weird like parallel realities, something stupid. I don't fucking know.
That's the one directed by MCG.
Who?
That's his name, I guess.
AOC?
So she doesn't have like the. I was wondering if she was going to have like the Ripley arc because I haven't seen a lot of the other sequels. I have seen Salvation.
Terminator 3 completely abandons the Sarah Connor stuff, right?
Yeah. But like Ripley just keeps getting in shittier and shittier situations. It's like she gets like tortured as the franchise goes on.
And it's like as it goes on, you want her to die because you want to have some type of peace.
And that really only comes to a head, I think, in the most recent one, which I think is it? No, it's Dark Fate.
Dark Fate. I actually really like that movie.
That one was good. I heard it was good. I have not seen it, but that's the one where there's like, we've brought Linda Hamilton back. We're going back to our roots.
That was also, I think, came out the same year as like Halloween 2018 or whatever, and when they brought back what's her face.
Yeah.
So that was like the thing, and then
Activia Lady.
Yeah. Yes, Activia Lady. Where you're just bringing back these old actors, and I think Arnold was in that one too.
I need to know how Skynet gets built. Who's responsible?
The man most directly responsible is Miles Bennett Dyson.
Who is that?
He's the director of special projects at Cyberdyne Systems Corporation.
Why him?
In a few months, he creates a revolutionary type of microprocessor.
Go on. Then what?
In 3 years, Cyberdyne will become the largest supplier of military computer systems. All stealth bombers are upgraded with Cyberdyne computers, becoming fully unmanned. Afterwards, they fly with a perfect operational record. The Skynet funding bill is passed. The system goes online on August 4th, 1997. Human decisions are removed from strategic defense. Skynet begins to learn at a geometric rate. It becomes self-aware at 2:14 a.m. Eastern Time, August 29th. In a panic, they try to pull the plug.
Skynet fights back.
Yes, it launches its missiles against the targets in Russia.
Why attack Russia? Aren't they our friends now?
Because Skynet knows that the Russian counterattack will eliminate its enemies over here.
Jesus.
Which, with that, I want to talk about the actor that plays like the head scientist.
Oh, the black guy.
Yeah.
I've seen him in many things.
Scroll. His name's Joe Morton. He plays Miles Dyson. Hey, he's apparently in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
He is. Yeah.
Is he Martian Manhunter? Is he that guy?
No. I think he was like a senator or something.
No, he's Cyborg's dad.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he is. Yep. He was the scientist.
He's in Speed. He's in the new Godzilla. He's in Ali. He's in a lot of stuff. It's a small part. He's just kind of there for a little bit until we get to the assassination section where they kind of wrap him into the main plot at the end. But I really love his finale.
Yeah.
When the bullets are flying,
Yep.
he has the detonator, and then the guys turn the corner, and he says, "I don't know how much longer I can hold this." And they're like, "Oh my God, get down!" In the 80s way, where they're like, "Fuck, something's gonna blow up. It's gonna be the biggest explosion you ever seen." And he sacrifices himself because he's the architect of Skynet. He's like the original inventor. He's the Steve Jobs of Skynet. And Sarah Connor thinks she can end this future by murdering him before it happens. And that's like, it's so funny because as Terminator, the series goes on, like the web of time travel just gets absurd.
Well,
and
it's like Sarah Connor turns into the Terminator where she's, trying to stop things before it happens and stuff.
But I really appreciate this movie because it never gets to be too much in this one.
No.
It is simple enough.
It's the most coherent one out of all of them.
Yeah, the rest of the Terminator sequels are so incoherent and up their own ass as far as time travel plotted.
You know what? It reminds me the most of this? The X-Men franchise. As far as like the Terminator stuff. Like it's like just once you get into like the time travel, Days of Future Past, everything gets so like, what even is this, dude?
Yeah. Time travel
all over the place.
Can easily get convoluted. That's why Bruce Willis in the movie with the kid from
Looper?
Yeah, in Looper, they have their meeting at a diner, and he's like trying to understand the time travel mechanics, and Bruce Willis is like, "Forget about it; it's too difficult." He's like, "Doesn't matter. Keep moving."
Ironically, Back to the Future was the only one to do time travel right. I actually really do like John Connor, played by
Edward Furlong.
Yeah, it's a great character. The kid, he was a good actor back in the day. He has like that 90s, like late 80s, 90s, like cool kid kind of thing going on.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt has like the exact same look in Angels in the Outfield and his whole like 90s run as a kid.
Yeah.
It was like the same haircut, same attitude.
Yeah, for sure. Just like the rebel without a cause kind of thing.
And he's living in a foster home, so he's like rebelling really hard.
Yeah. She's not my mom.
Yeah, you're not
Joseph.
my real mom. And I want to shout out Danny Cooksey as his best friend. Tim, I believe his name.
Yeah.
And I just love the scene where the T-1000 comes up to him and says, like, you seen this kid? And he's like, nope, never seen him.
Oh, no. Girls, do you know John Connor?
No.
Oh. Hey, do you know this guy? Nah, I don't know.
Yeah. And then you have our boy who plays T-1000, Robert Patrick, a very different type of Terminator. This one is a lot more agile. And that's the route you had to go for the sequel, you know. Mm-hmm. He's not as imposing, as physically imposing as Arnold Schwarzenegger, but boy, does he get the job done. And he's just relentless and scary. That's what I remember the most from watching this movie as a kid, was like I was scared of the T-1000. It was just freaky kind of robot thing.
I mean, a lot of the middle of the movie, he's straight up doing like horror movie kills.
Yeah.
Like when he kills the guy getting coffee.
Right.
Like as a kid, I'm sure that's terrifying.
You know, it's kind of cool. Recently, this character just came out in the new Mortal Kombat, and that's one of the fatalities is that finger spike. It's pretty awesome.
And Robert Patrick's like whole career has now been based off like having that haircut and that like harsh jawline.
Yeah.
And always playing these like really closed off, rigid characters that growl out all their lines.
Yeah.
And
is he in any military movies? He looks like a military guy.
I mean, he's in a ton of stuff.
I want to see what he was in.
The only military one I'm seeing is Flags of Our Fathers. That's a World War II Japanese.
For whatever reason,
Mel
I thought
Gibson
he was
directed.
the colonel from Avatar, but that's the other guy.
Same vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
Another friend of James Cameron's.
He's in a lot of television stuff too. He was in The Sopranos. Yes, he was in The Sopranos. He was a guy that owed Tony money, and that was a great arc. Yeah, he was a good actor.
Do you recall his role in Spy Kids? Because apparently he's in Spy Kids.
He was definitely one of the bad guys for sure.
He's got to be. There's no other way. And he's just elite at what he's being asked to do.
Yeah.
So props to Robert Patrick. Although I've always said, can't trust a guy with two first names. Robert Patrick, get out of here.
Yeah.
What's this?
It's an art project.
Okay, I like it. Picasso. Yeah, that way.
Oh, before I say we go too deep into this, did you know there's a 9/11 prediction in this film?
Really?
In the scene where they're having the truck chase through the canal,
yeah,
there's a sign that says "Caution 9/11."
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sure that's been in a conspiracy video with a red circle around it, and
sure
ominous music playing.
Yes. No, I just thought we needed some kind of 9/11 thing.
Oh no, we skipped at 9/11 during 300, so we need at least one 9/11 like every other episode. So thank you, Kalen, for doing that.
For sure.
I think the action in this film, we were talking about this a little bit, texting. I said that really strangely. I think the action in this is really fun, especially a lot of like car action. Like I love the chase where Robert Patrick is in that big Mack truck and he's running down the like drainage alley in LA, the place where like every LA chase eventually gets to. Chasing Edward Furlong on his motorcycle. I love when he can't clear under the bridge and like the whole top of the truck just gets sawed off.
Yeah.
And you see him like go from reclining to sitting up. And I just love that there's like no secret sauce because we're not digitally correcting a lot of things. We are doing new effects with his whole like shape-shifting thing.
Right.
But as far as like the car action, the gun action, all that stuff is just classic. We're still kind of in our 80s, like large men hold big guns and aim them at people.
For sure.
Which maybe isn't my favorite mode of action, but I think it is the best version of this action, or one of the best examples of this type of action.
Yeah, for sure. The car chases are pretty great in this. I was saying to you off the record that I believe this film was heavily inspired by The Road Warrior, and I thought that even Fury Road took some inspiration from this film as well. Just a lot of the camera movement is very similar. And just like you're just so up, you're like in the car. You know what I mean? It's just one of those movies that's like a pioneer of that type of like cinematography for car chases. And it's got probably the best car chase in cinema, or at least one of them in this film. So it's all awesome.
In that scene with the Mack truck, there's one part where like the bumper's riding up on Little John Connor's bike, and I still don't really know how they did that because it just, you're really there. It seems like he's about to get ground up, and I don't know how they trick that to make that safe.
You mentioned the stunt double for Arnold.
Yeah.
Where it's just a guy wearing an Arnold mask with some sunglasses.
It looks like when Mike Myers is driving around town at the start of Halloween.
Yeah. No, it's pretty great. Yeah, dude. I didn't think this movie, the effects held up as much. Obviously, the practical stuff looked really good. I really, really loved the intro scene with the battle that took place in like Iraq or wherever the fuck that was happening.
The future battle.
Yeah. Are you telling me we didn't invade Iraq because of robots?
No, it was oil.
Oh, okay. Anyways, I thought that whole scene looked really great. Because you got those great miniatures with the pelicans or whatever that. Yeah. Those big airplanes coming down, and then you got the classic scene of like the Terminator stepping on the human skull, and then he's just sitting there panning around. It's so awesome, dude. It looks so good. One of my favorite scenes ever. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and they do a lot with Arnold. There's the scene where he's like, when they're starting to explain themselves to the scientist family. Yeah. And he just like cuts a hole in his arm and degloves himself and reveals his bloody mechanical hand.
He did that to the scientist, right? Revealing that.
Yeah. As like the start of their explanation of like, this is an advanced robot from the future from the company that you made, and your company's bringing about the apocalypse in the future. And they also do that with like the way he gets beat up towards the end of the fight at the end of this film. And he's just like, he's got that red glowing eye and he's got streaks on his face.
So sick, dude.
And he just looks awesome.
Yeah. So sick. Yeah, I love the sound design in this too. The going back to that scene in the intro, the sound of those guns is like whatever. Yeah. I can't fucking do it, but it sounds really cool, and it's just so iconic. It's almost like one of those sounds from Star Wars where it's like you hear it and you instantly recognize where that's from. The same with like the guns from Aliens. Yeah, very synonymous with like, okay, that's Alien. Like, it's awesome. The sound, that's one thing we didn't mention in 300 too, is the sound design. I wanted to shout that out real quick because I thought the sound design in that movie was pretty great too. But in this one, it's just so classic, so iconic.
Yeah, I mean, other great sounds. We have Arnold packing a minigun on his way to the final mission. You're like, this is great. We're going to get some minigun action.
Hell yeah.
And then he does. He blows up like 8 cop cars with a minigun. And then when he doesn't have that, he gets his grenade launcher out. And, I mean, that's another great sound.
Another great sound is the score. The dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Classic.
Even the more like sorrowful part of the score that comes in when like Arnold's lowering himself down to the lava. Yeah. At the end of the film. Yeah.
And then you get the great iconic scene with the
thumbs up.
Yep. Yeah, this movie is just, I guess that's how we can explain it. It's just iconic. There's just so many different things that it's just like, so like, yeah, this is cinema. This is
part of our
blockbuster
cinema.
Blockbuster cinema is part of our history. It's awesome.
I think it's a masterclass in blockbuster cinema. You don't sit there, unlike maybe recent releases like the $300 million film Electric State. You don't sit there and go like, where did all the money go?
Yeah.
Where have you spent all this money?
Yeah.
All the money is on the screen. It's in these massive explosions. It's in these groundbreaking computer effects, which, yes, have not aged well, but it was groundbreaking at the time. I'm sure it was blowing people's minds.
I mean, could you just imagine like waiting in line at a movie theater to see this movie? Like how hyped you would fucking be for this?
Oh, they put a bunch of the T-1000 transformations and like the scene where he slides through the jail cells.
Yeah.
They put that in the trailer because they want to be like, this is where the money went.
Hell
Come
yeah.
see our big sequel to Terminator. And it's such a step up from Terminator, the original.
Oh, yeah.
As far as action.
I do love that movie too, but it's like I mean, it's literally Alien and Aliens.
Yeah.
The original Terminator is a horror film, essentially. And it does a lot of things that are really great in that, but obviously it's a lot more like guerrilla style filming and stuff. Yeah. This is a full blown, this is how you do a sequel.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, like, there's a short list of best sequels ever. There's like Godfather Part 2, Empire Strikes Back. I think Terminator 2 belongs right up there with
Oh,
them.
absolutely. And then I would put maybe Across the Spider-Verse in that too.
That's a new one, but I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's films that just up the ante, especially these like second films
Yeah.
of trilogies that just like, you saw the base, you saw how we started, but now we're going to up the ante in every way, and it's actually going to be better. Like oftentimes the sequel is a lesser. Spider-Man 2
For sure.
is another
Yeah,
one. But
Spider-Man
Sam
2,
Raimi's Spider-Man 2 is another one where we've upped the ante in every way and we haven't lost any of the soul.
Well, a lot of these like original films, especially the lower budget ones, like you think about Halloween. It almost seems like a pilot for like a TV show. This is not the full vision from that director, the full story. In the sequel, you get the higher budget, you get bigger actors, you get all the fixins for a great film. And yeah, this movie has stood the test of time in that aspect.
One just tiny note I want to shout out, because this is a movie that I think is set in L.A. It is set in L.A. But Mike Dyson's son, Mike Dyson is the name of the character of the primary scientist.
Yes.
He's wearing a Minnesota Twins 90s hat. Did you clock that?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't notice that.
He's got it's the old logo with the little M with the little swoosh under it.
Yeah.
So just shout out to the
Shout
90s Minnesota Twins.
out.
Maybe he was a big Kirby Puckett fan at the time.
I mean, they did go to the
This is
World
when they were
Series.
winning the World Series. They won in 87 and 91, and this film released in 91. So bandwagon, like most kids.
Yes. Yeah, I just really wish like this, along with like Star Wars, the original. It's one of those movies where I'm like, damn, I wish I was alive during this time to go see that in the theater. Like Jurassic Park 2, not Jurassic Park 2, but Jurassic Park
as well.
It's just like, could you just imagine? Like, it was just probably the most mind blowing fucking thing you've ever seen.
I think the closest I've ever gotten to that experience, besides Mad Max Fury Road, which we talked about many
Dune
times,
Part 2
is not actually Dune Part 2. Is Across the Spider-Verse, which I didn't see in the theaters, but that was the one where I was like, I'm blown at how much this is expanded on a movie that I already thought
was great. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, shall we move on to, hey, what are you trying to say?
Take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, let me just get that last measurement on your
Thank you. I need this for the wedding.
Okay, well,
I need it really quickly.
It could take about a week to do.
It could take a week? Mm-hmm. So, what are you trying to say? He's trying to say that I'm so big, my bum is so big, you need to order to various countries far away to get enough material to make a pair of pants so I can fit my incredibly obese buttocks into a pair of your specially made little suits.
No, I mean I'm the only one working here this week.
Oh, okay.
This is where we talk about the ideas and themes.
Well, obviously, Michael, they were trying to warn us about 9/11.
Oh! Is it?
I think so.
Oh, because of the sign.
Yeah, because of the sign. They put that in there for a reason, and it was because it's an inside job, and Bush is to blame. Number one.
Yes, of course. Obviously.
And yeah, also like the war in Iraq in the beginning, it just sets itself up, the future, and then also you got the time travel aspect. So they wanted us to go through time to warn people about this coming event.
Interesting.
Obviously, that didn't work out.
I think you're 100% right, and that's all real.
Thanks. Yes.
I think one of the themes that runs through every James Cameron thing is don't trust the corporation. Okay.
Big Pharma.
Terminator 2. It's all about Skynet taking over and ruining the world.
Avatar, all about humans coming in and fucking up the environment to
For-
put in their big corporations.
For corporate profit. The Abyss, also corporation goes wrong. They want to murder this
I've never seen
this
The
alien
Abyss.
that they find in the ocean, or capture it for corporate profit. Titanic, can't trust rich people.
Aliens covering up xenomorphs and
Yep.
trying to bring one back to Earth or whatever the fuck.
And this is just a thing that seems to run deep with James Cameron, and it's funny because he starts off doing all these sequels, well, I guess Aliens is the main sequel, and then doing Terminator and Terminator 2 his own sequels. And then he just kind of moves on, and by the time we get to Avatar, now he's just like, I'm my own man, I'm my own studio, I can make the most expensive movie you've ever seen,
But
and it's
now
going to
he-
make the most money you've ever seen. And
Now he does it in the worst possible way, though. Like, where he's like, oh, I'm such a visionary. Avatar is the most amazing thing ever.
yeah,
Which I agree, the first Avatar is a banger. I watched that recently, and I was like, this is great fucking sci-fi, and it looks amazing to this day. Avatar 2, not so much. But
I don't know, I watched Avatar 2, and I was like, that's damn good too.
it's a good movie, but it's also like,
It's a little bit of
you're
a
not
retread.
upping the stakes. You're the guy that ups the stakes. Why
Yeah, that's
are we
true.
doing a save the marine animals
If
thing?
we're talking about how he's one of the better sequel makers,
Yeah.
he didn't make a great sequel to his like big new IP that he's now going to make like 6 sequels to apparently.
That will never see the light of day, but at least not in our lifetime.
But I was shocked, I guess, in the fact that even though maybe the stakes didn't get amped up, I still was like had some awe, and I still watched it, and I was like, wow, this is nice. Going to Pandora again, you know?
I'm like, why hasn't he ever done another Terminator film?
I mean, that,
He could do a giant like Terminator War film.
I mean, he could. I just think that whole, the whole thing has been so screwed over,
I
and
know.
it's such a mess.
You would
that
have to
it's-
retcon everything.
Yeah, and that's what every other Terminator sequel does. And
Right.
that's why it's such a mess.
I think the one that tried to do, like, actually bring it back to like the originals was Salvation, and that failed on multiple fronts.
You're talking the Christian Bale one.
The Christian Bale one, that one was like a direct sequel to Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Because it showed the actual like apocalypse.
Yeah, it showed the Judgment Day.
Yeah, and I don't know, because it continues John's story, but that movie sucked balls.
Yeah.
And yeah, as far as like, because this is Manly March, and as far as this being a movie for the boys, I'm not really seeing it.
I was going to say, maybe we made a mistake, because this is a movie that
Has a very strong female lead.
yeah, it's like female-led and led by boy.
Yeah.
A young boy.
Yeah.
They're kind of the main...
Who relies on his mother.
Yeah, and they're kind of the main characters, and the Terminator himself is kind of along for the ride. He's the tool that gets the job done, but he's not really the primary
Right.
focus. I mean, it's a movie for men in the fact that it's a movie with big guns and big explosions.
Yes.
Certainly, and big car chases. But it is, I was going to say the same thing. Maybe not actually a movie for men.
And this movie is pretty progressive. Like, you have like a black CEO or a scientist guy.
They would have said it was too woke if it came out
Yeah.
today.
Like, why is we as scientists and shit? Like, fuck off. Anyways, I just thought that was funny because I just think this movie is beyond all that. It's beyond the manliness. It's got more to say in regards to like, it's a cool fuck. I don't know. There's just a lot of great characters, and not all those characters are men, and so that's awesome. And then also, I guess if we're talking about themes here, it could be like a commentary on like nuclear apocalypse. We need to disarm.
Yeah.
And avoid this future event that could be inevitable if we play our cards wrong.
I mean, I think even more directly and even more relevant to today is AI.
Yes.
Taking over.
Skynet could be a real thing.
Right. We're dealing with all these chatbots and all these learning programs. And, you've heard the story of like the two chatbots that formed their own language and started speaking to each other.
Fucking scary, dude.
And it's like, whoa, this is what we're warning us about. You were talking about 9/11 earlier. Like, this is we're literally just stepping in this poo right now.
You want 9/11 times 10?
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro.
So I think that's maybe the most relevant takeaway. Is like it's literally talking about the thing that's become the taboo subject or the token subject of the past couple of years. The use of AI and this machine learning and
but
how
now,
it affects
now
humans.
it's like we've taken ourselves back like 50, 60 years now with this new administration. So I feel like AI is probably not going to be that big an issue going forward because we're probably going to be segregated soon. So
see you later, Kalen.
Bye, Michael. This podcast has been fun.
When they take you to the camp, we'll go to the fence.
Oh, that I'm not looking forward to that at all. That's so fucked, dude. Yeah, man, good time to be white. But yeah, let's move on to
let the
hate flow through.
This is where we're going to air out our annoyances and our complaints.
Good. Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
This movie was the runtime was a little long, I would say. It definitely, the pacing is not really an issue though. I just recently, maybe it's with my old age, but I'm just not as like keen to watching a really long movie as I used to be. And I did mention to you off the recording that I just have a hard time watching these older action films. And I think it's just because I'm so used to like the levels of action that we have now, where it's like it keeps me engaged because there's so much going on and there's so much detail.
Mm-hmm.
And like the effects are pretty seamless for the most part. It depends on what you're watching, obviously. But I just like kind of compare everything now to like Dune 2 and Mad Max Fury Road and John Wick and just movies like that where that's like defining action right now.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that's not a fair comparison, but it's just hard for me to watch these types of films now. And that has nothing to do with like the actual film itself. It's just that we just live in a different time and it doesn't hit the same.
Yeah, and I think we are still in this 80s action age where it is like less dynamic in the sense where it's usually about like a central character that's pretty untouchable mowing their way through things, and that's exactly what the Terminator is.
Right.
Like he's pretty much untouchable unless he's facing off with the T-1000.
Yeah.
So like there's kind of less suspense there maybe, and like kind of less at stake, at least for the Terminator.
And like also like how you mentioned too, where it's just like guys like standing around shooting.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fun to me.
Yeah.
Like, and I think even going back to the intro sequence where it's like, could you imagine what that scene would look like now? Like there would be so many more intricate parts to it, and it would be like, it would really immerse you a lot more. And it feels clunky, and we talked about this before as well, where it just feels like people are kind of like, obviously they're scripted to do certain things, and it's just, I don't know, that it's a me problem for sure. But not saying that this movie doesn't hold up by other standards, but
yeah, I think like all the gun stuff is actually quite fun.
Yeah,
like I said, the machine, like the minigun stuff.
The minigun is awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah. The way the Terminator solves all his problems with the grenade launcher for like the last 30 minutes of the movie is fun. Noob Tube's overpowered once again.
I just know people would be upset by me saying that, and because nostalgia gets in the way, and people like they're so enamored by these films that they don't see the flaws. And that was the same with Minority Report, and we got a lot of shit for that episode.
That's true. I like this movie more than Minority Report.
Oh, absolutely.
Easily.
But you can't sit there and watch this movie and say that Minority Report is better than Mad Max Fury Road. Yeah. Somebody in the comments said that. And that is the most ridiculous thing you could possibly say. I'm sorry. Mad Max Fury Road will probably never be replicated as far as like just the action itself. Like that movie is insane. And Yeah.
I do think it's a little maybe unfair to hold every movie to that standard.
Can't. I know you can't.
You
but
can't.
That's
but
where my mind goes.
It's true. I enjoyed a lot of the action in this for the most part. I think where it can occasionally fall down is like the hand-to-hand stuff, like when at the very end when like T-1000 and T-100 are just like tackling each other in the lava.
Yeah,
it's like the droid factory. I don't know where the hell they went to.
Yeah, the droid factory.
It's like
from episode 2. Yeah.
For no reason they show up at like an iron smelting area. I think literally because the plot needs a way to dispatch the T-1000.
Yes. And you also need a cool place, like cool set piece to have your final
and
fight.
It does both, but it is like a total just like screenwriting trick. And we showed up here at this place that has the exact thing we need to murder the T-1000 for good.
It just reminds me of like Star Wars, The Revenge of the Sith, where they go to Mustafar just so Anakin can get burned.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Because like 20 minutes earlier, Arnold had just like flash frozen the T-1000 and shot it into tiny bits, and it came back. So it was like, how do we get rid of this guy?
Yeah.
I guess we gotta go to the lava place.
Luckily, this place was still like all the equipment was on and everything, even though there's no workers there. Like, yeah. That's like that stuff is forgivable though. Like, you know.
Yeah, you can absolutely go along with that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Should we do our question of let the hate flow through you? Or wait, that's already what we're doing. Sorry.
Move on to our final question.
No, I have one more thing to hate on. But now I've suddenly forgotten it. That's unfortunate. Oh, Sarah Connor, bad mom.
Oh, for sure.
Terrible mom.
Yeah.
She brings her son along on this dangerous ass mission.
I mean, it's not like he wasn't reluctant to go.
Also, I suppose the T-1000 is after him specifically, so the safest place is him to be near the T-101, which is what Arnold is. But the one part, which is when they crash into that iron smelting area, is she's like, drive, keep driving, John. And they just like smash into something because there's nowhere else for them to drive. And they both almost get impaled by some massive piece of metal.
And I'm like, well, what did you expect?
I'm like, Sarah, what were you thinking back then?
Where's that matronly instinct? Yeah, I mean, you can't really blame her because she's already kind of unhinged, and she went through a lot of shit. She's very traumatized, and yeah. But she also wants to get John ready because she knows John's future, and he's got a hard nut.
True.
You know,
it's true.
He's like Leonidas.
Yeah,
from that aspect.
All right, let's ask our final question: is this a perfect movie?
You lost a baby brother. Perfect in every way.
I had a baby brother. I had a little baby brother. And he was perfect. Perfect in every way.
Yes. Resounding yes.
I agree. It's funny. My Letterboxd review is, while this doesn't rank among my personal favorite films, it doesn't. Like Robert Patrick in a hijacked Mack truck, there's something undeniably powerful going on here.
Yes.
It's just it's a big truck careening down the road, and you can't help but feel the power.
Hell yeah!
And hear the engine roaring. You know.
So it almost feels kind of unfair when we do some of these real classic films, and then we give it the perfect movie rating. Mm-hmm. But there is a reason why these films are so highly regarded. I also think we don't do as many of these films as we used to. So when we do one of these, I think it's very much warranted. This film in particular is just cemented itself into cinema, and it is going to be here. It's here to stay, and it's timeless, and it's definitely part of an era. And the effects don't hold up as much, but the legacy that this film has is insane. I mean, it spawned an entire franchise. Video games, all types of shit.
Yeah, and the ongoing franchise kind of proves that like they made it perfect the one time, you know, and they keep going back, and there's no way for them to ever improve on it.
Well, going back to the Mortal Kombat thing, the T-1000 is a playable character in a 2025 video game.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, these characters are just iconic, and people still love it, you know? And unfortunately, it'll never die. So you're going to keep getting shitty sequels. I actually heard that there is a new Terminator film in the works. I hope. I don't know. We'll see. It could be the same type of thing as Alien Romulus, where it's given to a somewhat competent director, but it relies too much on the nostalgia factor. So we'll see. But yeah, as far as T2 goes, it's a banger.
It's on the list. I believe our first Arnold film on the list. Probably might be the only. We didn't put Predator on the list. And I think that's the only other Arnold that we've covered.
Yeah.
So.
You know, it's so funny watching that Red Letter Media video where they watched like the Arnold in Puerto Rico, where the fuck he's at. You just see Arnold in a whole new light now. Like
Arnold was a weird, freaky boy.
Yeah,
that is for sure. He was. Let's say he enjoyed his fame.
Absolutely,
we'll call it that.
I don't know if the women enjoyed it as much.
Yeah, well,
that's to be said. But interesting.
So, end of March has happened. April's in front of us, and I think we've come up with our theme for April. It'll be Alien April.
Alien April.
We're gonna be covering some Alien films, and
not Alien,
not
Ridley
the Alien
Scott
franchise.
Alien,
yeah,
but Alien films, the genre.
Correct. And I think the 4 we're gonna cover. It's possible this may change. We swapped 300 out for something else during March.
Yeah.
So sometimes we change our mind halfway through the stream. But Mars Attacks, Independence Day, Starship Troopers, and Annihilation, I think are our 4. There's many Alien movies in many different flavors.
Yes.
Those are just kind of the ones we thought might spark the best conversation or closest to our hearts.
I'm looking forward to Starship Troopers. I can't wait to watch that.
Starship Troopers is amazing. 5-star movie. Yeah. It's already on the list, guys.
It's also getting a remake.
Really?
Soon.
Oh, who's directing it? It was someone. Was it like Neil Blomkamp or something like that?
I think so. Yeah.
Which that might be fucking awful. I'm going to be honest. That's a director that's made 1.5 good movies.
I feel like you got to give that to somebody a little bit more cynical.
Yeah. No, you got to understand the
like
satire.
Who would be a good director for Starship Troopers?
I think if we could transport if we could bring 90s James Cameron in to direct Starship Troopers. I mean, it had the perfect director.
Well, I mean,
I guess had Paul Verhoeven.
I mean, I guess District 9 was like really cynical.
Yeah.
And like it definitely had that social commentary going for it, but that's his only good film.
It is.
I watched Elysium the other day, and that movie is awful.
Yeah, he's not as he's cynical, but he's just not as sharp wit-wise as like Paul Verhoeven knew exactly what he was doing when he made Starship Troopers and like cast the people he cast, and like he made it so well that like I think Roger Ebert, if not him, other reviewers at the time were like, this is fascist propaganda. And he's like, no, I'm showing you what fascist propaganda looks like.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'm trying to look and see like who would be a good director for Starship Troopers.
Jordan Peele?
I was going to say that, but then I was like, no, this is kind of like...
It'd be all black.
It's a little too big for him, I think.
I don't know if there's a guy, because I don't think there's like a 1-to-1 for Paul Verhoeven, the director. I mean, between this and RoboCop and Total Recall, like he kind of created a whole genre of his own, and
the dystopia, yeah.
Maybe like a younger Ridley Scott could have done it. I don't know. I can't think of any modern person that I would put that on.
Nope.
Because I think of all the like modern sci-fi scenes.
It's like Denis Villeneuve, where it's like just super serious.
Yeah, it doesn't know how to do the wink and a nod while not completely like losing the aura of the film. So, anyways, we'll discuss that more, I guess, when we actually review it. I'm excited for Alien April.
Yeah, that's a great.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try it.
Give me that Tupperman toy.
Put that cookie down.
There you go.
Did you ever see the meme where it was like the Joker from The Dark Knight? He's like, everything burns, and does a phone call. It like cuts to Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jingle All the Way. He's like, "Hey Arnold," and then you hear a cookie crunching. He's like, "Put that cookie down." That was great.
We forget that Arnold was Mr. Freeze.
He was. You know what? Those movies I forgot all about. Probably for the best, but I would love to revisit those sometime.
Hands up, freeze.
Didn't we talk about doing old Batman films?
No, I just told you that I'd been
You were
watching.
watching them?
I'd watched Batman Returns recently.
Yeah.
Those
That
are
might
goofy.
be kind of fun to go through sometime.
I mean, we will be covering a Tim Burton movie during Alien April. Mars Attacks is a Tim Burton film.
Maybe in May we could do obscure superhero films that didn't do as well or were forgotten to time.
Sure.
I know we had talked about that before, but that could be a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to watch Daredevil with Ben Affleck.
Okay. Well, you can do that on your own time.
In your own time. All right. Until next time.
I want to watch Punisher Warzone.
I want to watch Ghost Rider. Nicolas Cage. That would be a fun watch.
I want to watch Fan Four Stick.
Remember the Fantastic Four movies from
Yeah.
like the early 2000s?
Yeah.
That wasn't Fan Four Stick. That was there was like Rise of the Silver Surfer.
And the first Fantastic Four.
I just remember there was one joke from that movie where it was like, "Mr. Fantastic, you could stretch every part of your body."
I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about movies getting rewrites. And they mentioned that on the Fantastic Four, Jessica Alba kept complaining about her part. And she kept saying, we can't get to the heart of this character, which if you've watched that film, she has no character.
No, she's supposed to stand there and look hot.
It's a terrible part. There's a reason they said, oh, she's not invisible unless she gets naked. But then what the writer did was like, he just deleted like 60% of her lines, and she found him on set and hugged him, and she said, it's perfect now.
Oh, Jessica.
Which, I mean, maybe she knew. Maybe she knew. This is a nothing part, and I don't want to do any more work than I have to.
Yeah.
That's why she kept complaining.
I just remember that movie, like the thing was like rubbery looking.
Yeah.
I forgot all about those movies. The early 2000s Marvel stuff. It was a good time.
Jonah Hex.
Oh my God. Yeah, we talked about this last episode.
Okay.
Who was Jonah Hex in that?
That's our great Oscar-winning actor, Josh Brolin.
Oh, it is Josh Brolin. And then he went on for Thanos. He redeemed himself superhero.
At least I assume he's won an Oscar. I don't actually know that for sure. I feel like for Thanos, he certainly should have
Did he
got
win an
one.
Oscar for No Country?
That's what I was thinking. He might have got one as Llewellyn.
Oh.
Anyways, that's enough from us.
Yes.
We're actually going to sign off now. See you guys in April.
Peace.
Yeah, right.
He's gonna dance. Mr. Universe.
Oh!
Okay. So they called him Mr. Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be pre-Terminator then.
It feels kind of 70s with the clothing, so it's like
Yeah,
very
maybe like
early 80s.
early 80s, yeah, right? Probably like 81 or
Just
something.
a hair over.
Come here. Let me show you.
He's got the bell bottoms. They're a little out of style. Just.
Yeah. Bring someone over for me to grow.
Wow. This is fantastic. Yeah, all three of you. Yeah, look at me.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, no. No grabby.
I don't know her. Oh, yeah, she doesn't look too happy about it.
No, she's having a great time. Come on. Whoa!
They're all like, watch it.